Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the All Hands on Deck show. I'm Reverend Ira Ackery, your host, bringing you greetings from the GSJ Family Life Center on the west side of Chicago. And we're located at 1256 North Waller Avenue, and the phone number is 773-378-3300. It's Tuesday evening, March the 21st, and we are still celebrating Women's Month. Don't you ever forget that the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And today we have a bright young woman, a counselor, an attorney, a new leader as far as I'm concerned in our community.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. We're excited to have her in the studio, Attorney Tanya Woods of the West Side Justice Center. Counselor, thank you for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me, Reverend. We're really delighted to be here.
I know you're very busy, and it was tough getting you in, but I know that we had to hear and get some guidance as it relates to this crisis. The Westside Justice Center is doing a well of a job, not just taking leadership with this, but I looked at some of the things you're doing. You're doing a well of a job serving the Chicagoland community. You're providing pro bono, holistic, and legal counseling to so many people.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Absolutely. So the Westside Justice Center is a holistic legal aid clinic, as you mentioned before. We are a free legal aid clinic on the west side of Chicago. We're located...
Did you say free?
I did say free, sir.
There's something about that word free.
It appeals to everybody, indeed.
Yeah.
But we are unique in the sense that there are many other wonderful legal aid clinics that have been around for a while, but we are unique in our space because we are serving what we believe to be a legal desert on the west side. Wow. There are very few clinics like ours and services that are available to the community.
Sure.
We started just a year or so ago. We're coming up on our first year anniversary here, February 2017, marked a year that we are celebrating our not-for-profit status. But we started as a couple of small firms who opened up a space at Harrison in California, and they put a banner outside that said Westside Justice Center.
Sure.
And what began to happen is people just started to come in off of the streets in droves because they saw that sign that said justice, and that's what they wanted to find. And as a result of that, the attorneys there began to see that maybe there were people that could not afford legal services. So we are anchored by two law firms, Schiller Prayer Law Offices and Birch and Associates, two beacons in that community. But there were people who couldn't afford the services. And what we also found is that a lot of people, they did not have a legal claim at all. They didn't necessarily need an attorney to represent them in a court of law with a dispute, but maybe they just needed some help navigating systems. They needed some help finding their way around bureaucracy. They needed some quasi-legal services that didn't necessarily require them to retain an attorney. So that's what we're able to provide at the Westside Justice Center. So that's direct representation as well as just advice. We also are able to provide legal education and literacy in the community, educating people about landlord-tenant rights, how to file for a property tax appeal, things of that nature that are just your regular garden variety types of law.
This is real good, and just reading your website, I could tell that you service not only the West Side, but you serve the Chicagoland community.
Absolutely.
But we're very happy to have you on the West Side. What made the West Side the ideal place for you to have this legal clinic or organization located?
Well, as I mentioned before, we, after doing some research and surveying the community, recognized that there were a lot of people who were not getting these kinds of high-quality services. We took an old abandoned supermarket, gutted it out, put state-of-the-art equipment and offices there. These are facilities that most people in our community might not otherwise be able to take advantage of. So after seeing what was in the community, it was the people who lived there who told us, we need these services. So we provide, there are attorneys who provide everywhere from bankruptcy, tenant rights, criminal defense, civil rights, you name it, we have it within the four walls of the Westside Justice Center.
All right.
And where we don't have it, we have a referral network, and we can refer you to like-minded attorneys who have the same sense of social justice and commitment to serving the community as we do.
I'm so excited to see someone as bright as you and some of the others that I've met who are passionate about justice, because there's an old saying that says the blessed of us should help the rest of us.
Indeed, indeed.
And that's the only way we're really going to be able to level these economic and educational playing fields.
So true, so true.
It is so crazy. It is evil. It is diabolical. What's about to happen on Monday, April 3rd, 2017. 50,000 homeowners are in danger of losing their properties.
Yes, sir.
50,000 people with delinquent taxes, their homes will be sold.
Yes, sir.
50,000
Yes.
have not paid their property taxes. And about 6,400 taxpayers, I understand, don't even know they owe money because the tax bills went back to the post office.
That is correct.
Bring us up to speed. We were together last week with Richard Boykin, Commissioner
Yes.
Richard Boykin, who's always on the front line trying to make a difference. And we were together, and we talked about what we can do to fight back. We got to fight back. As a people, we never want to battle unless we fought.
That's right.
And when we fought, we always won.
That's right. That's
And
right.
so we
That's
got to
right.
fight back. So talk to the audience, because so many people are tuning in right now
Sure.
on Cable Access Network, on the internet, and Facebook Live. We got a lot of people on Facebook Live, got comments and questions. So talk to us.
Absolutely. So very simply put, what many homeowners may not know, and when they know it may be too late, is that the property taxes that are due to Cook County, so if you are a Cook County resident, that means you live within the Chicago city limits or one of the collar communities, so that might be Maywood or Bellwood or Harvey, you're in Cook County, you pay your property taxes to the county. If you are delinquent in paying your taxes can actually be sold. So it essentially works like a note on your house that someone else can then buy. And anyone actually can buy those taxes that are delinquent. What the county does here in Cook County is that historically that there are two occasions in which those taxes can be sold. There's what's called an annual tax sale that happens every year, and where there are delinquent taxes in the immediate prior year, those taxes can be sold. So they're put up for sale. There's another time, the second sale, that comes biannually. So every other year in the odd numbered years is what's called a scavenger tax sale. And some people may have heard that terminology before. During the scavenger tax sale, those taxes that have been delinquent for 3 or more years are up for sale. So those are the two times that currently, up until now, had been the two times when taxes could be sold.
So what is the one April 3rd?
Absolutely, glad you asked that.
Sure.
So what's coming up on April
Educate us.
3rd, sure, is yet another type of scavenger sale.
Okay.
So legislation was passed in 2014 that said the taxes that are due 2 years ago, so those that were due for 2015 and payable now, and payable last year, if those are delinquent, those are now going up for sale. So these are the 2015 tax period. If those are delinquent, they are now going up for sale on April 3rd. So essentially what we have is an unprecedented time in Illinois history, in Cook County's history, in the history of selling taxes, where 3 times this year in 27 there will be a tax property sale.
Boy.
So a property tax sale is happening now on April 3rd. There will be another one coming later and yet another one. So 3 times this year. That could mean severe financial hardship for an individual. And as you said, an individual can lose their home over the sale of their property taxes. What makes this even more devastating is that many of these properties are located in communities where there are disenfranchised, people who are marginalized, people who really have very little to no means of redeeming these taxes at all. What happens if the taxes are sold, then if you are not able to redeem them, and you would be paying back that note, not only the principal, but you would be paying the person who bought them interest on it as well. So now what you would have to pay is even increase. So that's putting a person even further behind the 8 ball as far as being able to salvage their home. So that's the predicament, and that's why this is so serious. The tax sale is actual April 3rd through the 6th, depending on which township that you are located, your property is located in, and this will disproportionately affect people like senior citizens,
Sure.
people who have found themselves in a mortgage foreclosure situation, or people who have inherited the home but didn't even realize that their property taxes were behind. So this
So
is
this
the
goes-
most vulnerable in our communities.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's what I want to ask you, but you went right on it, and you
Okay.
basically told the audience that the profile
Mm-hmm.
of the average person who's going to be victimized by this is going to be somebody in our community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So it's going to hit us harder than most demographics.
Absolutely, absolutely.
This is a travesty.
And so what we at the Westside Justice Center, in addition to raising awareness and to learn more about us, you can visit westsidejustice.org. Our phone number is 773-940-2213. And you can also contact us by reaching us at info@westsidejustice.org. What we're doing at the Westside Justice Center is we're trying to not only bring awareness, but we're also trying to position people where they can get out from under this.
Sure.
So that looks like a couple of things. If you visit us, we can sit down with you, and an intake worker will sit down with you, ask you a few preliminary questions. But if you're affected by this April 3rd, there are two ways that you can find yourself seeking some help. One
All right.
is if you are would like to explore a bankruptcy. So for some people that might be a scary word, but that might be the difference between you remaining in your home and being ousted. So we can refer you to a bankruptcy attorney that can assist you with that process. What that would do is basically stay the sale of those taxes, because that would be wound up with any other debt that you would have,
Sure.
so that those taxes would not be sold. Another way is if you are a person who is a senior citizen over 65 years old, or you have lived in your home for a number of years, you might be eligible for one of the many tax exemptions. So there's a senior tax exemption as well as a homeowner's tax exemption. Maybe you're not getting that. And if it turns out that you are not receiving that and you are eligible, then that would stay the sale of those taxes as well.
You are giving us so much information,
Great.
even in the midst of all this information that you are stacking on top of us all today. We still have callers coming in. Callers,
Okay.
you are welcome to shoot your questions. 312-738-1060. Counselor, welcome. Welcome to the show. Talk
Thank
to
you.
the counselor.
How can I help?
Hello?
Yes, speak up. Welcome to the show.
I'm sorry. Yeah, my name is Robert Cathy, and a friend gave me this number. I have a property at 1606 South Pulaski. My taxes are due, 2015 taxes are due to go into tax sale on April the 1st. I heard about the bankruptcy. I really hadn't given that a whole lot of thought, but I've actually been in this property for almost over 30 years. But it's considered a commercial property. I'm just trying to find out if there's any way that this office can help me with that.
All right, thank you for your call. Those who didn't hear that question, he wants to know, is there any way that he can be helped with his commercial property? He's had it for 30 years, and the taxes are going to be sold unless there's a resolution.
Okay, so I can, a couple of key pieces of information that you did share, which are very helpful. One, there are 3 different kinds of properties, commercial, residential, or even vacant lots that the property taxes are going up for sale. So thank you for identifying that this is commercial property. The exemptions usually apply to residential property, but the bankruptcy that I'm referring to is a consumer bankruptcy. So I will say this much, that a lot of what I am referring to does apply to residential. That doesn't
Sure.
mean that you are excluded, sir, just because you own commercial property, but it might be a slightly different route. So I would advise that you would contact the Justice Center. We can refer you to a bankruptcy attorney who can look at your specific circumstances and advise you accordingly. So that would be the one caveat that might make your situation slightly different than residential property, but I would not say that initially, without looking at the details of your case, that you would not be available for some type of assistance. So I urge you to call the Westside Justice Center at 773-940-2213. One of our intake workers will take your information and will put you in contact today with a bankruptcy attorney.
Now, attorney, the sad part about this is some people will lose their houses for a very nominal amount of money, and somebody else, these big-time, deep-pocket investors, will buy these houses and turn around and flip them and the wealthy gets wealthier and the poor gets poorer. I have a big problem with that. It's legal,
Yes.
but it's not ethical.
Yes. It is legal. And it is, however, one of the most unfortunate things about this process that is legal indeed. That's partly why it's called a scavenger sale.
Right.
You kind of alluded to that. But there are some individuals out there, and without kind of giving it away, that, like yourself, are moved by what they perceive to be an unethical process.
Sure.
And stay tuned to your televisions and your news outlets, because I can foresee that there will be some individuals that are going to try to provide some relief to some of the most vulnerable of this population.
Absolutely.
And by that I am including those individuals whose taxes might not be more than $1,000 but are in danger of losing their homes. And for that, this relief might be made available or will be made available to those people who find themselves in that bucket. That is a very,
That's some
very
breaking
small
news.
sum of money for some, but a huge obstacle to overcome. So
That's some breaking news.
Yeah.
Some breaking news. In
So
fact,
stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Tomorrow, something
Yes.
big is
Yes.
going to happen that may help a lot of people.
Absolutely.
And we're grateful for you giving them a snippet of that.
Indeed, indeed.
Listen, this seems like a legal land grab, legal property grab, and we're happy that you're here in the studio and you have attorneys waiting to help
Yes.
people fight back.
Yes.
Let me ask you, what can you do for those who have an exorbitant amount of money? And there are a lot of people. Well, first of all, the people that have $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, are those the no-brainers or not necessarily?
Not necessarily. There are some complicated things, but we don't want to make it too complicated.
Okay.
There are some criteria that could make your situation a little more detailed than just, yes, you qualify, and with $1,000 you're off the list. If your home is in a foreclosure, that can make things more complicated.
Sure.
If you're not the owner of record, that could make your situation more complicated. And by that I mean, in layman's terms, many of the people in our community, especially on the west side, they're living in homes that grandma owned, right? And she just, you live there, you raise your children there, nobody really conveyed the property properly, grandma really didn't have a will or a trust, but you've continued to live there without any issue. Now this comes up and you find out that you're not the owner of record. Grandma still is the owner of record.
Wow.
So that might add some complexity.
Man, you got my adrenaline going because I know we're going to save people's houses.
Right.
We're going to save people's houses. We got another caller. Caller,
Sure.
welcome to the show. Welcome to All Hands on Deck.
Yes, and good evening to y'all guys.
Thank you.
I'm doing some work and I'm just listening to you. It seems like it doesn't never change. Number one, you need to teach people what to do with their monies, how to construct their money. There's many banks, there are mortgages that will help you construct your money so your bills will be always paid. And 9 out of 10, mother died, grandmother died, leave the property to younger people. Younger people do not do anything. And then they lose the property on the property taxes. Well, this has been going on. I'm an older man. I used to drive on that kind of thing.
Sure.
But I don't dip into that kind of stuff anymore. But again, people need to really realize their priorities.
Absolutely.
What comes first. So I suggest maybe classes you need to give.
Well, I think she's doing it. Your point is well taken,
Very
and there are a
well
lot of people who feel your way. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, a fool and his money will soon part, and poor people they have poor habits. And the way we do that is deprogram them through education. The Bible also says, without my people perish because of a lack of knowledge. And I think you have something going on that teaches people financial literacy. Would you like to speak to that?
So one of the key tenets of the work that we do at the Westside Justice Center, westsidejustice.org, is providing legal literacy and education to the community through Know Your Rights seminars. If you are a church or a community-based organization, a school, or
Sure.
just have a group of people that need information, let us know. Give us a call. We'd be more than happy to dispatch someone to your organization and conduct one of these seminars and workshops. What we're really talking about, and caller, you are spot on, is wealth transfer. Very simply put, sometimes speaking about financial literacy is way over our heads. But when you talk about things in very real and concrete terms, like what did you do with mama's house while
Sure.
you were still living there? People understand that. And so we want to bring some of this information down to a level where people can easily understand, digest, and make informed decisions about how they handle their property and any other wealth. Too often we begin to say to ourselves, well, I don't really have anything. Well, the house is what you have, and that's
Absolutely.
very important. Mama didn't really leave very much. Anything she left is of importance,
Right.
because the other alternative is if we do not properly convey our wealth from one generation to the next, you know where it goes. The state takes it.
Absolutely.
Then you have a new lawsuit or a new course of action of trying to get it back from the state. Right? So if we take the time now to just assess where we are and put our house in order, then we can start to ensure that that wealth is successfully transferred from one generation to another. We do also have attorneys at the Westside Justice Center who specialize in wills, trusts, estates, probate, guardianship matters, so that you don't have to wait until it's too long. And Reverend, I'm sure you can back me up on this. We all are going to pass that way.
You bet.
Right? So it's
Absolutely.
not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when.
Oh, you preaching now.
So the best thing that we can do is to set our families up such that we can continue to pass on this wealth in a very intentional, purposeful, and financially responsible way. And it's not hard at all. And it's our goal at the Westside Justice Center to demystify and take what looks like a very complicated process and break it down into small pieces so that we can keep this wealth in our communities.
All right, all right. This show has really flew by. But anyway, I want to ease another announcement. I'm so privileged that we are hosting a Chicago Cook workforce development site at our church, 1256 North Waller Avenue. And this is a really good organization that we're just allowing to come on our facility. If you are job ready, they will give you job leads. If you're not job ready, they will prepare you. They will coach you. They will present seminars that you can benefit and grow from. That's why it's called the Workforce Development Program. So that's tomorrow. Every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon, you're welcome to come to 1256 North Waller Avenue. Come there. There's no reason to be out of job. There's no reason not to be prepared to go interview. They will teach you how to interview. They will teach you how to put your resume together. They will do it for you. And that's every Wednesday on the northwest side of Chicago, 9 a.m. to noon at 1256 North Waller Avenue. Well, we're almost out of time, but tell us a couple more great initiatives you guys offer at Westside Justice Center. I know we've concentrated mostly on this issue of the taxes, but do you guys do civil rights cases?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we pride ourselves indeed on being a full-service legal aid and providing also for-pay services by the attorneys that also have their offices in our building. So we have two medium-sized law firms, as I mentioned before, Schiller Prayer Law Offices and Birch and Associates. They specialize in criminal defense, civil rights, immigration, and family law. We also have 4 solo practitioners that cover everything from, and I mentioned before, the Harrison Law Group. They provide wills, trusts, estates, probate, and guardianships. We also have an individual who provides landlord-tenant and housing, expungement and sealing. If you find yourself in that situation, Susan Rataka. And then we also have other individuals in the building. There's not one practice area I don't think that we don't cover. Municipal, land use, real estate, you name it, we do it.
We are so excited to have an organization like yours that's bringing holistic legal counseling to the West Side. It's centrally located on the West Side, but it's available for everyone.
Indeed.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for having me.
Keep on pushing.
We shall.
We're going to save some homes, and saving homes, we're going to save families.
Yes.
Thank you so much, and thank you for watching. All hands on deck. We'll be right back with you on next Tuesday. Have a great day.